Hello.
Hello.
Hello there. Oh, I need to center this a little. It's going to drive me nuts. There we go. Good times.
There you go. Welcome.
How's everybody doing?
Hope you're doing great.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, seriously, it's Hanukkah right
It is.
now.
I know.
Yep.
That's why I said
What,
that.
like the third day, I think?
I thought it was the second, but I really...
Maybe?
We
I don't know.
celebrate Hanukkah. So.
No, this is true. We should be better at least about like knowing about it, though, I feel like.
Probably.
So I hope everybody's doing well.
We're better at a lot of things. But, we're all doing the best we can, right?
This is true. So what do you have in the mug tonight? Let's start there.
My coffee from this morning.
For this morning.
Yep.
It's currently at 108, 107 degrees.
Yep.
So if it's scalding your
I
mouth.
had it on the charger, but it kind of shut off. So
there we go. Third is tonight. Thank you. All right. That's what I thought.
Thanks, Jen.
I know it starts at it's sundown. So yeah. Yeah. So glad to be with you all. Glad to have Tanya back.
Yes.
As it were. So
I'm glad to be back, but I could have stayed another week.
Yeah. Might have ended up in a mental hospital, but anyway,
I would not have ended up in a mental hospital.
No. Me, I would have.
I wouldn't have ended up in prison. That was a joke.
Yeah, well, maybe in the Dominican Republic somewhere, but
oh my gosh,
that would be fun.
Nowhere else I'd rather be.
Good talk.
I will never end up in a prison.
No. Anyway, well, glad to be with you all, and excited about Christmas this weekend, and then the New Year. I suppose we'll be doing a show next week. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows?
No, we're going to be visiting family. We're
going to take the week off. All right. Well, we'll see you in the new year then.
Yeah.
So
they're watching anyway because they're going to be with their families.
That's true. Very true. So
unless you want to get away from your family for a little bit, in which case we have plenty of episodes. You can just scroll on back.
Peace out.
Find them.
This is true. You can do that. But glad to be with you. Excited to hear about what Tanya has been up to, what she was up to on the Scarlet Lady with Virgin Voyages. But before we do that, our question of the day is this: what are you going to be celebrating in 2023? Seems kind of cheesy, but we all have things that we're going to be celebrating, I think. So excited about.
We're going to be celebrating platinum.
Yeah, we're. Wait, sorry, I can't. Oh, that was not fun. Oh, that's depressing. We had a little splash incident just now.
It's fine.
It's okay. Everybody's okay.
We're fine. Everybody's fine.
Yeah. Of course, we don't have anything to wipe it up with.
So
you use that Disney blanket over there.
I got pants. I'm good.
You got pants. That's good. Good. Glad you have pants on right now.
Well, I mean, they don't know.
This is true.
Kind of take my word for it.
Oh boy, this show's taking that turn, isn't it? All right. So Travel Tips Tuesday After Dark returns. So we'll have a special.
Well, I need to keep it moving, or else it stops heating it up. It's almost there.
Does it really? You have to keep it moving, or else it stops.
No, but that's just I'm trying to normally I turn my mug on and it heats up before it's hot, like when I put a hot beverage in it. But this beverage got cold because it's from this morning. So it's having to heat it back up, which it normally doesn't do.
That sounds like a bad game. Like, you must keep this cup moving to heat up hot beverage.
You don't have to do that. It's just because it was cold because it had turned off and it's having to heat it back up. And it seems to be heating more consistently when I
bingo card. Yeah. Travel Tips Tuesday bingo. Let's do it. So good times.
Anyway, got some travel news for us?
Got some travel news. What? Yes.
It's Tuesday, December the 20th, 2022.
Yep. There it is.
We're here to talk about what you're celebrating in 2023. A trip report from my trip upon the Scarlet.
We are.
And some travel news, which includes
some things. Let me go backwards. Wait, don't say it yet.
But I'm so excited.
Don't say it.
I'm so excited.
Don't say it. If she's excited, it's going to be food related, right? So we'll go
about other things too.
What?
I do.
Well, that's true. No, going backwards, they formally announced, well, sort of like in Disney fashion, they're like, we're going to announce the opening date and it's like, generally speaking, basically
like a fourth of the year.
They will say spring, fall, winter, whatever. So you got like a 3-month-ish window in there. But the Roundup Rodeo Barbecue, the new table service restaurant, Toy Story Land, will be opening in the spring sometime, which is pretty exciting. They've done more to the facade of it that you can actually see if you're in the parks now, which is fun. They're doing some more refurbishments in the hotels that are coming, including they just announced that the lava pool at Grand Floridian, regular rooms, but also the lava pool at the Polynesian will be shutting down for a little bit because they're refurbing the slide. So the slide will be done. Yeah, I think maybe it's just the slide that'll be done. The pool itself may be open, but and then let's see. Disney Cruise Line is doing a 50% off deposit offer. So normally it's a 20% deposit on cruises. So they'll slash that to 10% when you book. The rest of the terms and conditions always apply there. There's a water slide refurbishment moving onward, and the big one that dropped today. Yesterday. Go ahead.
The princesses are coming back to Cinderella's royal table.
Good times. Eep.
Because since pandemic, it's just been Cinderella, but the princesses that like walk around from table to table haven't been there.
Princesses are back.
They're back, baby. But not
you
until
said
February.
It, not me.
Not until the end of February.
No.
February 28th.
That's sad. Maybe they'll have some surprises before then. Who knows? So you can pay your lots of money to go sit around a table inside a castle and
we enjoyed doing that.
Doing it.
We enjoyed that experience.
We did. It was a bucket list thing, but like it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But we went when our baby was like not yet 2. He was
That's
like
true.
a week before he turned 2, so we didn't have to pay for him. But they still brought him food because
yeah, and we had like the perfect table too. Is right at the stained glass like center, the back of the dining room that you could see the carousel in New Fantasyland, and it was really nice.
The kids really enjoyed it. The boys got swords and the girl got wands, and they all hit each other with them.
Still do.
Awesome.
We got rid of all but like one of each of them because it was just a mess. They were like everywhere. So we've got one.
Take one away from Fred just the other day because he was hitting us.
Yeah, it's currently hiding in the kitchen cabinet. So
here you go.
Sort of.
The sword is. I took a wand.
Yes, the sword is. Oh, the sword. That wand hurts. Good grief. Yeah, they do. But anyway, so parents warning. If you
so you know,
if you go to Cinderella's royal table, your children will be given weapons.
For my Harry Potter fans, they're getting smelting sticks.
Smelting sticks, indeed, or something like that. Anyway. So, we're excited about that. Things are rocking and rolling there in Walt Disney World.
I bet Jen got that.
This is true. Yeah. So, okay. Jen said, to clarify, not 50% off cruises. It's 50% off the deposit. So, like, which is kind of like...
It's still good.
It's still, like, it helps people book because it helps, people give the ability to save up and that kind of thing. So, the cruise fare is still the same. You'll still end up owing the same at the end of the deal, but it's just a slightly reduced deposit. It helps make more affordable for folks on the front end.
Look, she got my smelting stick reference. I told you she would. I knew she would.
So, but thank you for asking that, Jim, because often those kinds of questions can be kind of confusing. So I'm going to scoot the computer over here so it's not like I'm looking like, oh look, what sort of thing. Anyway, so that's that. Where should we start?
I'm going to talk about the Scarlet Lady.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had so much fun. A Pirate's Tale, Thievery on the High Seas. That was good. That was good. When I saw that today, I was like, oh.
We'll wrap up. I think we ought to wrap it up with this story.
So Evelyn keeps telling everybody that I stole a bottle of rum.
Shh! Don't say too much.
That's all I'm saying. So, it was true.
It is a tale of mystery and intrigue and thievery on the high seas of how it happened. So hang out to the end for tonight and you're in for a treat. It's a fun story.
So to give a little preface into Virgin Voyages, it is like Virgin, the record label, like Virgin Atlantic, Sir Richard Branson, all of that. So that is the company. So if you know anything about Sir Richard Branson and his companies, they kind of do things a little bit differently. They kind of, rather than there's a quote from him, something like, rather than break the rules, just make up your own. So that you see that in the Voyage. It's finally at temperature.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Keep going.
No, I was going to savor that for just a second. So they do things a little differently. So like, whereas a typical cruise ship has a cruise director, like a single person, Virgin Voyages has the Happenings cast, which is about 10 different people. men and women, and they run everything on the ship, all the activities, the parties. They sing, they dance, they kind of do a little bit of everything, and they're incredibly fun. They are, they just do it all, and they're hilarious. Another thing that's typical to cruising is the main dining room. You get an early seating or a late seating, and you sit with the same people every night at the same table with the same server. And Virgin does not do that. They have 20 plus eateries, several sit-down restaurants that are only open for dinner time.
Yes.
That's actually, I think, pretty much the only place on board that has a dress code is the sit-down restaurants. They want you to have clothes and shoes. No joke. But like the galley,
valid concern.
But like the galley is like their, it's open all the time. Although I'll say we went a couple mornings at like 2, 3. And it was like breakfast, but during the day, during when normal people are awake, it's essentially a food court. There's a ramen place, there's a burger place, there's sandwiches, there's popsicles, there's a whole popsicle cart, tacos. I mean, there's a little bit of everything there. A mini coffee shop. They have a coffee shop on board called the Grounds Club. There's the Grounds Club 2, so you can get a little a coffee in there. Grab and go items, and you don't have to have it. I mean, we walked through there in our bathing suits with no shoes, and other people were doing that too. So, but the dining all around is incredible. The ship eats, which is the room service, is incredible. So, you're not going to have that. Oh, every night at 5:30, I sit down and eat. It's like tonight I want to eat at 6, and tomorrow night I want to eat at 8, and that's fine. And I just pull up the app and I make a reservation and I go. Or, I mean, some nights we didn't get a reservation till the night of. It was like, oh, there's an opening in 15 minutes. Let's go. Okay, let's go. But the food in the galley was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. But the restaurants we're going to get there in a second, but they were incredible. Not your typical cruise fare. And then a third thing I wanted to mention that Virgin does a little differently is most cruises will have a formal night. Virgin does not have a formal night. They have Scarlet night. And you can dress up in formal clothes if you want to. We did see a couple men in tuxedos. We saw a couple men in like red jacket tuxedos, because the thing is everyone's supposed to wear Scarlet. Even if it's just a little, even if it's like a ribbon in your hair or something, you're supposed to have a little something Scarlet. But then there were a couple gentlemen who wore their red Speedos to Scarlet night. So it really was a little bit of everything. And before you panic too much, you should also know that they are adults only voyages. Virgin is entirely adults only. You have to be 18 to sail. You have to be 21 to book. So you can go on there at 18, but you have to be with someone who is 21 years old in your room. So it was just different. I mean, I've cruised one other time before. You and I went about 12 years ago on a Royal Caribbean, and in an interior stateroom, which was fine. But now that I've had a balcony,
that stateroom was so small.
It was small, but it was fine.
It was like sleep, smaller than this room that we're in now.
Absolutely. But I mean, it was fine. But now that I've been in a room with a balcony, I can't go back. I can't go back. The whole experience was wonderful.
Can we show them these?
Yeah. I want to say before we show them that, though, the number one, I guess the most amazing thing that happened on this voyage, the thing that stood out the most, the best experience, was the crew. I did not have a single negative interaction with a crew member. I had one mediocre interaction, one that was just, pretty much just a normal interaction. Almost every single interaction we had was above and beyond. I mean, the crew was incredibly funny, engaging, caring, happy to be there, or at least really good at pretending like they were happy to be there. Like, the crew made that voyage. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of spoiled by being a bit of a Disney girl, but like, the crew was top notch. Okay. So the stateroom, we stayed in a sea terrace, kind of like Disney. Virgin has their own names for things. So a sea terrace is a room with a balcony. Some of the other terms they have are like sailor loot is what they call their onboard credit. Shore things are what they call their shore excursions. The bar tab is what they call their
drink package.
Their drink package, which is very different. Another very different thing, but we'll get to that in a minute. But we stayed in a sea terrace. And it was beautiful. There was a king bed that can be converted to 2 twins, and you could see kind of on the ceiling, there's another twin that can fall down from the ceiling. And so you can actually sleep 3 in there. But it was gorgeous. It was small, but really pretty roomy. The only time I really noticed the size was in between the wall and the foot of the bed. When you walked around the foot of the bed, it was kind of a little, it was a little tight there. But I mean, there were plenty of room for both of us to be getting ready at the same time, that kind of thing. There was a little mini fridge. The attendants were amazing. They checked on us throughout the day. They made sure we had water every night. Like, they were really, really good. And you can see kind of there next to the lamp, there's a little iPad kind of thing. That's how you control the lights. There is mood lighting. That's how you control the opening and the closing of the blackout curtains and different things.
Jen asks, does it feel like an all-star room in size, like all-star sports? I'm assuming,
it's definitely smaller than that.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it is still a cruise ship room.
Right.
I did go into a Rockstar suite. So there are 2 suites. There's the Rockstar and the Mega Rockstar. They get concierge service, access to special lounge on the ship, Richard's rooftop bar. I went into a Rockstar suite, and it was probably about the size of an all-star. I'm still going to say a little bit smaller because it was a single bed. I mean, there was a king bed. There was a little more walking around room. The bathroom was considerably larger, and the balcony was considerably larger, probably about twice as long as ours was. There was a sofa, but it was still not hotel room size.
Right.
All right, you can carry on with these pictures.
Carry on.
The bathroom
looks like it's pretty typical in size for a cruise ship.
The shower was fine. I mean, I was able to easily move around, shave my legs, and do whatever I needed to do.
I do like this. It's like got a rainfall shower head.
Yeah, it did. And there was still the wand, which was nice. Because when I was trying to shave my legs, I didn't want the water like washing off my face. So I could kind of like divert it with the wand. But the room was gorgeous. Yep. The safety video was hysterical. They don't do like old school muster drills anymore. We had a safety video, which was like a 6-minute rock video.
There you go. That's pretty neat.
I was very entertained the entire time. And then the muster is kind of like a check-in. You just check in and talk to someone. They make sure you know the stuff, and then you have like an hour to do it. So those hammocks, that's where it's at. We both took naps in the hammocks. Like, I think, and we talked to other people who took naps in their hammocks. It was amazing. The hammocks were amazing. Oh, here.
Tylen's on there.
Tylen, am I saying your name right? Because I really hope I am.
She says, funny story, you had turned our handle towards the door, forgot about it. When Stefano got in, he drenched the entire bathroom in water. It was hilarious. Nice. I've had that happen to me. Like, I've done that before to myself.
That was funny. That's sad.
Yeah. So do you know, like, do you know this? Remember the story behind these hammocks?
Yeah. So it's
actually pretty neat.
Is it women in Thailand?
Something like that. I forget.
They make these. They hand
maybe Thailand knows
all of these, and Virgin pays them an incredibly fair wage in order to do that. So that's kind of one of their signature things. They say that most, but not all, of the balconies have one. I'm going to go, I've never heard of someone getting one with that one. I'm going to go with that's a very, very small number.
Yeah.
But I guess there is a slight chance that you could get a sea terrace or an XL sea terrace, which is slightly larger in the bathroom. Yeah, she's also 99% sure it's Thailand, and it's made from recycled plastics. Oh, and the bands are too, which I don't have my band on, but there's a picture on there somewhere. It's kind of like a magic band at Disney, but it's your identification. It gets you on and off the ship. At ports, it's how you use to pay for drinks with your bar tab. It's your room key. It's you check in for dining reservations. I mean, it's pretty much everything. And I will tell you, you have to take a photograph. You have to take a photograph ahead of time, and every single person on the ship will see that photograph. So it's the bad one. Just know that every time they pull up the screen, they're going to chuckle a little. Ask me how I know that. Anytime I need a screen, like you check in for a reservation, and they're like, they look at the screen and they look at you, and they're like, "Is it for Tanya?" And you're like, "Yeah, I know the picture stinks. You can just go ahead and laugh. It's fine. It's great." So just know that when you take a picture
Moving
on the
onward.
app, like everyone on board will see it several times. So
Yeah.
just know. Okay. So that's pretty much the room. I got a couple pictures of the Rockstar, but it was being lived in. So I didn't get too many. But there is a small bar in there. They will stock it with whatever you want. And the bathroom was huge. The shower was walk-in. The shower was so walk-in that there was not even a door. Like you had to walk in and go around. So there's no, I mean, it was, yeah.
This is, I want to show this because I thought this was kind of neat.
Yeah.
Even, I wasn't there, obviously, for those of you that don't know that. So she's hanging out in strangers' rooms and
total.
All sorts of things. So this,
really well. You know me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what we do. This is what room service comes in.
Yes.
Right. So, room service with the staterooms and everything has this little like
Ship Eats. You order through the app. It's most things are free.
Right.
They will charge you a $5 delivery fee. Unless you buy something, there are a few items that are $5. If you buy something that's $5, like this morning we bought orange juice for $5, then it didn't charge us an extra. So you're going to pay $5.
So this is just kind of cool, like what they're stacked in and everything. So, food looks tasty.
Yep, the
delicious.
Hot stuff was still hot. The cold stuff was still cold.
There it is, all packed together. I just thought that was kind of neat.
And when you're done, you just pack it up and set it back outside. But it was really easy for them to deliver. They just walked up and handed it to me.
It's kind of nice because you don't like, and obviously I wasn't there, but it seems like you wouldn't see like, stacks of like trays of like leftover room service. You know how you walk through a hotel room or a resort or something, right?
But
so it's just
I didn't
a little
see
classier.
I mean, they're picking
small
stuff
touch.
Up. Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like going through.
So as far as the food goes, for breakfast, we kind of either got room service or we went to the galley. And so if you don't know me personally, I've been counting macros and lifting weights and trying to lose some weight recently. And I had lost 14 pounds before I got on the ship. My big focus was I don't want to overeat and I want to make sure I have protein all the time, like just heavy on the protein. So for breakfast, I could order an omelet. I ordered an omelet. It was great. I had scrambled eggs one day. It was great. And then the galley has a kind of area where they have little items. You can just kind of pick them up. Because most of the galley, you sit down and they come and they take your order. Even though it's like a food court. But at this place where you could walk up, I had overnight oats. I had Greek yogurt. There were several different little yogurt parfaits. I had one with like strawberries and blueberries, but there were some with like, I don't know, passion fruit or different kind of combinations. But I was very pleased. Like I felt like I was able to always get the protein that I wanted. Sausage, bacon, all that kind of stuff too. For lunch, a couple days we did a grab and go at the galley. We got a sandwich. The first time we got it, it was really good. It had like spinach and arugula on it. It was turkey and cheese and oh boy, on some kind of like maybe ciabatta. It was really good. We got it a second time a few days later and it was a little stale, but still fine.
Ciabatta is a fun word to say.
Right. And then, I mean, a lot of times we didn't eat like a specific lunch because we were eating late breakfast. So we were kind of having brunches and just kind of like snacking. But dinner was where it's at. So there are several different restaurants. My number one favorite restaurant that we ate at in the evening. So Thailand, I didn't necessarily eat healthy the entire time. I just made sure that I started with protein. And if I felt full, I stopped. I wasn't like the old me from a few months ago would be like, there's 2 bites left. And so I have to eat these 2 bites. And this time I was like, I just, so I really did try to focus on just eating the protein, but I still really did eat like the things I wanted. But Thailand also pointed out Wi-Fi is included. I purchased an upgraded Wi-Fi package. I was told by some crew that it's no different. That the crew gets the basic Wi-Fi and that they stream movies and TV shows. And so next time I will not be purchasing that to see as a comparison because I don't think that was worth it. But Wi-Fi is included and all essential beverages, which for most cruise lines is like tea, coffee, water, juice.
The end.
This one also includes like sodas.
It does. Okay.
Yeah, and there's a little freestyle machine.
That's kind of like what Disney does.
Yeah.
So even though Disney doesn't have
when you
drink
purchase
packages.
a bar tab, so normally on a cruise ship, a drink package, if one person in the stateroom buys it, everybody has to buy it, and there's certain levels. With Virgin,
but I don't know if you saw this or not. Tylen says props to you for continuing
I already
to eat.
answered.
Okay, you did.
Texting.
Sorry,
you were not paying attention.
I was doing something.
But the bar tab is prepaid before the voyage. Typically, if you buy a $300 bar tab, which I think is their minimum, they give you $50 for free. When my friend and I were going, it was $100 free. So we ended up with a $400 bar tab, and I just paid for it. And then I just paid for all our drinks. So it's not, she didn't have to buy one and I didn't have to buy one separately. I just bought one and we just shared it. And you could buy it for strangers. I mean, it didn't matter. Someone could be like, I'm going to buy a round for the whole bar. Like, it doesn't matter what you use it on.
Yeah.
And it's not just alcoholic beverages. I used it on, they have a coffee shop. So I used it for my little iced mocha lattes. They have a cold pressed juice bar. I did not use it on that, but you can.
Cold pressed juice.
Yeah. So smoothies, stuff like that. So all of those are included in the bar.
Can we talk about this place right here?
So can we talk about my number one favorite place?
Which is what?
Pink Agave.
Is that on here? Did you post pictures?
Just leave that one up since you've got it up. The one I wanted to eat most of all. Okay. I was like, I have to get on extra virgin. That's the Italian, so you can pull it up. That was the one I really wanted to get on. It ended up being my second favorite, but only very closely second favorite. I really, really enjoyed it, but Pink Agave just beat it out. But we really enjoyed extra virgin. The menu is great. The potato gnocchi, I didn't even have to chew. Like, it just dissolved when it got in my mouth. It was so good. The bread was good. Excuse me, there's a little meat and cheese kind of charcuterie thing that they bring out that was really good. At the very end, everybody's treated to a shot of limoncello, which I had never had before. It was delightful. And a dessert, which I got. They ended up being little donuts with like mascarpone and raspberry, and they were gluten-free.
Look at that right there. They've got a porcini rub New York strip.
Yes.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah, I did not get one of those.
Except for the porcini. So,
but I mean, really, really enjoyed the food at Extra Virgin. That was one and that's probably the hardest one to get in. But we managed. But it was one of those, like, we're looking, and I was like, "There's one in 15 minutes," and we were like, "Go, go, go!" So we, brushed our hair real fast and ran out the door. But that's the bread.
There it is.
It was very good, and they give, like at Macaroni Grill, you get the little olive oil, you dip it in and stuff.
Fresh cracked black pepper.
Actually, no, it's just olive oil and red wine vinegar.
You need to step it up. What's that?
The meatballs were one of the appetizers.
Ooh, they've got bacon on top. That just
honestly, I told Jody, she disagreed with me. I was like, I could have split those meatballs. There were like 6 meatballs under there.
Huh.
They were. I was surprised. I was like, I thought this was going to be like just a couple bites. Normally the appetizers are small.
Yep.
And on a cruise ship, it's unlimited. So they typically don't bring you huge portions. They bring you small portions, and you can just order more if you want them. But this one was, to me, a large portion. Oh, the gnocchi.
Yep.
Yes.
That does look tasty.
It was so good. It was very obviously fresh.
Is that shrimp sticking out? What is that right there?
No, that was some kind of I don't know. You'd have to go back and look. I feel like prosciutto or something.
Oh, okay.
Like some kind of something.
Just the way it's sticking. Okay, gotcha.
Those were the little gluten-free donuts I had.
There you go.
They were good.
That's
and the
fun.
limoncello.
There it is.
So I was looking forward to that. I really did enjoy it. But my very favorite, another one that I really wanted to try, was Pink Agave. And it ended up being my absolute favorite meal. I'm already like thinking about next time I go, like what I want to order from there. And I was actually talking to Tylen about this earlier because she got a different drink. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to have to get that drink next time.
Is Pink Agave on here?
No.
Okay.
Pink Agave has a picture of me in front of a wall of bright lights. That's it.
This one. That's right
Pink
here.
Agave.
Come towards the light.
And the entrance to Pink Agave, I mean, the whole ship is made for photographing. It's made to be Instagrammable, right? They did this on purpose. So there are, I mean, just spots everywhere. So this is the hallway leading right into Pink Agave. There we are. We're so cute.
That's our friend Jody.
I know.
She should be on right now, but she's playing at Disney.
She's at Disney listening to the candlelight.
Oh, they're doing that right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So everything was just oh, thank you, Jen. She's complimenting my dress. Tyler and I didn't try the guacamole. So I'm telling you, I've already started a list of things I need to do when I go back in. And you can tell I clearly did not edit any of these pictures because they're super dark. Sorry. I got the esquites, and it was, oh my gosh, so good. It was like this corn.
Ooh, look at that. The spicy aioli and
it was, oh my gosh.
Is it like a grilled street corn sort of thing?
It came in a bowl. You had to scoop it.
Ooh boy.
It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Sign me up.
I got
sorry.
From the medium-sized plate, I got the shrimp.
Shrimps.
Also really good.
I would have gotten the papas con chorizo.
And people are gonna say, oh, there's a steak and seafood. That's gonna have the best steak on board. They'd be wrong. The best steak on board is from the large menu here. Where is it? Yeah, it was a ribeye, ribeye steak.
Yeah, okay. Beefsteak marinero in escabeche.
I don't have words. Like, I'm getting emotional.
Ribeye steak, Oaxaca cheese, and chile ancho.
It was so good. It was, because I heard, like, we talked to other people too, and they were like, man, did you get the steak at Pico Cave? The steak at Pico Cave? I'm like, yes, it was so good. It was good. And Jody got the pork, and it was like right above it, and it was also very good.
But the fact they have a little like treat yourself option.
Yeah, no, the steak is where it's at. Like, just the flavors and everything here were good. Our service was good everywhere. This particular server was very good. And then the drinks. So Jody played a little bit of a trick on me, but I guess I kind of let her. She said, "Oh, they've got the cricket drink here," and I'm like, "What's the cricket drink?" And she's like, "Well, they have one down at some place in Mexico in Epcot. One of the places in Mexico and Epcot. Mm-hmm. They have the cricket drink. It's like a thing." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." She's like, "You should get it. You would like it." And I was like, "Okay, I'll get it. I'll like it." And then so I order it, and she's like, "It has crickets." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" Because I just kind of trusted her, and it says right there, grilled crickets.
Yep, it's like crickets in here.
Yep. So she was like, I was like, "It has crickets," and she's like, "Yeah, and you're supposed to eat one." And I was like, "I mean, well, I'm here, so I ate a cricket, and it was fine. I didn't die. A little crunchy." But the drink itself just kind of tasted a lot like a margarita. I really enjoyed the drink. But we were also like rushing through there because
there's the crickets.
There are the crickets just floating in there. We were trying to rush through there and get to a show. I think
Excuse me, there's something in my drink.
Dual reality. So we kind of hurried it. But that was my number one pick. We don't have to show all the pictures from the other ones. We went to Razzle Dazzle one night. It was fine. I had a piece of salmon.
Those are scallops.
No, those are shrimp.
Shells.
Mm-hmm. Stop saying it like that. Gosh.
It looks like it was a ribeye.
Oh, it's so good.
Man, check that mess out. What's that on top of it?
That Oaxaca cheese.
Oh, that's the Oaxaca. Oh, boy.
In the background, this was like a puff pastry with some kind of cream. It was fine. But in the background, you can kind of see he just brought us one of each.
This is like, okay, we've got the fattiest cut of meat we've got. Let's put some more fat on top of it and just talk about eating healthy.
It is delicious.
Yeah. That does look tasty.
But there I am drinking the cricket drink.
She is in her red dress.
So all right. Razzle Dazzle was good. It's the vegan place, but it does have a naughty menu with meat. We enjoyed that just fine. It was not like nothing to write home about. We went to the test kitchen. That was very interesting. I recommend the test kitchen. I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more had I known exactly what I was getting into. It's an experience, and it's going to take a while. It's going to take an hour and a half. And you're not doing any of the test cooking, but it's just more experimental type stuff. So strange, very strange, but all of it was good. Like, there was nothing that was gross. I'm going to pick on my mom for a little bit here if she's listening, but that was Razzle Dazzle.
Yeah,
it didn't really matter.
I'm going to go up.
But at the test kitchen, yeah, you can show that one. At the test kitchen, there was, I got a little venison steak, and it was small because there's about 6 courses, and it changes. Tylen said on her voyage, she was also on the Scarlet Lady, but it was a different itinerary. That like every other night they had 2 menus and they would alternate them every night. On my voyage, it was 5 nights, and the first 3 nights were the menu that I ate, and the next 2 nights were a different menu. So when I go back, I would like to try the other menu. But it was just know that it's an experience and it's going to take some time and it's going to be a little strange, but you have an open mind, and I really enjoyed it. But they did have a little venison steak, and it was funny because I sent it to my mom. I was going to take a video of him pouring the gravy over, and he said, no. And he poked my phone screen and did slow-mo, and he was right. Because the slow-mo video was pretty cool. But my mom was like, why? She said something like, oh, I like the one with the chocolate sauce. I'm picking on you, Ira. And she said, where he's pouring the chocolate sauce. And I said, that wasn't chocolate sauce, that was gravy. And she said, why was he pouring gravy on a brownie? I said, it wasn't a brownie, it was a steak. So again, I should probably edit my photos because it was pink in the middle. You could see it, but too dark. I was just too excited to post them that I didn't get to edit them.
It's hard to get photos in restaurants sometimes because the lighting's always dark. I feel like, especially dinner.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. All right. So let's go here.
So there are several random places throughout the ship. There are different bars kind of scattered around the ship. Some of them have some food options to go with it. And then there's also the social club, which I'll tell you about in a second. But this was at On the Rocks. And when we first got there, the first place we went to was the pizza place. But we took our stuff to our room. We had just carry-on, so we just took it ourselves to our room. Then we went to the pizza place, which was very good. They're just all personal pizzas, and there's about 5 or 6 different options. I got the chicken pesto. She got a white pizza. They were both like mind-blowingly good. Very good. So highly recommend that. Then we got ice cream from, do you want to show them the pictures? No, we don't.
No, you can tell.
We got ice cream. The ice
is
cream
it
shop,
is it in this one?
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't remember where it is.
The ice cream stand is called Lick Me Till Ice Cream. It is an adults only voyage. So just remember that there's going to be adult humor and throughout the ship.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you're not into that kind of thing, it's like pretty easy to avoid. Like there were several older couples there who clearly were like not into that kind of thing, and that's fine. But just know there is going to be some of that humor. It is an adults only trip. So there's going to be some adult only humor throughout. But it shouldn't be like I told John, I was like, you'd be miserable. I don't know that he would really be miserable. He would be uncomfortable. But also he could just avoid the vast majority of it. I would not go to the drag cabaret if that kind of thing is not your thing.
No.
But just know that. So anyway,
there are things on like other cruise lines that I wouldn't do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
But it's just a little bit more overt,
Well, because you just don't. You don't have to like keep it from kids' eyes,
right?
Or whatever. But the ice cream was very good. They had like several different cones you could choose from, and about 6 different ice creams. I got a chocolate that was really good, and I got an orange ricotta because how could you see orange ricotta on an ice cream menu and not order it? And it just barely tasted like orange, and it didn't taste like ricotta at all. But it was so creamy and it was so light. It was one of the best ice creams I think I've ever had.
So let's go here. Can y'all tell she's been drinking coffee?
Okay. They poured chocolate sauce on the steak. Oh, it wasn't chocolate sauce on our steak, Tylen. It was is that what you said? Yeah. No, It was gravy. It was gravy. There were chocolate sticks, like little bits of chocolate sticks on top. So there was some chocolate, but the syrup, it was not syrup. It was actually, or sauce. It was actually gravy. But anyway, we went to On the Rocks. I don't remember what this one's called. The Entertainer. It's called The Entertainer. And I don't remember what all's in there, but you drink some of it. And then the little glass is Prosecco. So you kind of drink it down a little bit. And then you put the Prosecco in and drink it like that. And I've seen, like, I didn't get to go to that one, so I can't say for certain. I've seen clips of it. Tylen's posted clips of it. It looked incredibly entertaining. But I'm just saying it might not be the option for everybody, and that's fine, right? That's fine. But anyway, this drink was very good. I did drink. I realized he used to be a Baptist minister. I'm
still technically like sort of am, but not employed.
But anyway, so there you go. So I hope that's not too terribly shocking to anyone.
It's like I'm just gonna keep on driving the bus right over him.
I'm just being honest.
Good grief! All right, whatever.
Okay, so the social club was kind of styled after like a 50s diner. It was really cute. There were board games. There were big games like shuffleboard and air hockey. There were big screens where they were playing, the World Cup and college basketball and stuff. You could order wings, hot dogs, milkshakes, spiked milkshakes, and they had just a case of random treats that we thought were so funny. And one of the neat things about Virgin is they basically give you the freedom to act like a big kid. Like you can't act like a kid all the time because people think you're weird. But like there was adult-sized playground equipment. Jody and I were on the seesaw. We looked ridiculous. We had a great time. There were swings, and so there was a twister board like painted on the side of the ship.
Yeah, let's put Twister on an adult-only cruise line.
I did not play Twister.
Boy,
I didn't even see anybody play Twister actually, but it was there. But then like one day we had a pool party. It was like a total. It was just a pool party, like kids would have. I mean, there was alcohol, but like water guns and bubbles, and I mean, it was just a pool party. And then even like some of the treats they have are just like, that's a Rice Krispie treat made out of Fruit Loops, y'all. Like
Rice Krispie treat made out of Fruit
that
Loops.
doesn't fill your little child's heart full. I don't know what to tell you. And then a giant cake pop, and so they were good.
All right, so before we go any further, we've been going almost 45 minutes.
Oh.
Let's look at one other food thing after this, and then you got to tell your pirate story.
My pirate story. Oh yeah. Oh, this was one of my
stealing the rumps.
This is the breakfast that I told you about that you could get in the galley. Tacos in the galley. It was fine. It was fish.
It's raining fish
avocado.
tacos.
This is a neat little lounge. This is the sangria thing.
Yeah.
And this was a neat little lounge. It was just very chill. It was like all earth tones, and there were lots of live plants. And Jody and I sat in here for about 3 hours one afternoon and worked. Like we just took our computers and we just churned out a bunch of work. And it was really nice. And it was just a very relaxing place to kind of chill.
Ian, you have not missed the pirate story, but I will tell you as a foodie that I know you are, you would love this ship.
Oh my gosh.
You would absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think Ian would love it.
Yeah.
These are a couple little treats I got from the galley.
What is that?
That was vegan, like
something.
Egg in a basket.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious.
The last day. But anyway, yeah. So
let's find another food thing to look at in honor Ian to see here.
One of my favorite things, probably my second favorite thing we did on the ship was the pool party, which was the last day. So we stopped at Puerto Plata one day, and we stopped the last day at a lot of cruise lines will have their own like private island.
You just want to show them this?
Sure. A lot will have their own private island. Virgin has a private beach club on the island of Bimini, which is in the Bahamas. It's
a new place.
I had a lot of coffee.
It's a new port.
So anyway,
good luck going to sleep.
And it's great.
Tonight.
Like it's the same staff that's on the ship. We recognize the same faces. It's still the Happenings cast putting on the parties and stuff.
Did you talk about that? How they don't have a cruise director? Yeah. Okay.
They have. They had like games on the beach. Like people were like burying each other in sand and like like kid games. Again, they, like you get to be a big kid on this voyage. The Wi-Fi the food was still included. And there were two nice big pools. So the pool you're looking at there was where we had the pool party. You can see the ocean, and there's another pool over here. And of course they have food and a bar and all that kind of thing. The water was super cold.
Looks pretty though.
It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. But the pool party, I was like, I told my friends, okay, I want to be there for the pool party. And she's like, okay, we can do this. So we show up and they start throwing floats in the pool, adult size floats. So not these little, like on the one I was sitting on was a recliner. I didn't even get wet.
Yeah.
Like I was completely on that float. It was great. And I'm not a little thing. I mean, I'm nearing 6 feet long. So
that's a lot of floats in that pool.
They ended up getting, so one of the Happenings cast was in the pool and he came up behind me and was like, float parade, and started pushing my float. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting pushed around. So I saw Jody and I was like, hey Jody. And she was like, hey girl. And he was like, is that your friend? And we had gotten separated. And I said, yeah. He's like, okay. You can see him there in the red with the white hat. He's one of the Happenings cast. And so he started pushing me to Jody. So I grabbed onto Jody. There was another Happenings cast member in there who started pushing floats around. We ended up starting this really long chain. So like random strangers grabbing onto random strangers and just making this big chain of floats, this big float parade.
There it is.
We got to the point where one of the other Happenings cast was on the side counting. They were just kind of going in a loop around the circle, just kind of in a loop around the pool. And then eventually we closed the loop, like so many floats joined in. We got 40 floats in a closed loop on this float parade. And the Happenings cast were like losing it. They were like, the most we've ever had is 10. Like we've only ever got 10 and we've got 40 here. And so we were really excited about that. And then out came the bubbles and out came the water guns. And it was just a silly, fun pool party. I mean, but Jody and I sat in those floats for solid 2 hours and just floated around that pool. It was really relaxing because we were working. This was a work trip for us. We were working. We were trying to experience everything that we could. And it was really nice to just sit. But the pool party was good. One of my other favorite things was the Scarlet night.
Yep.
So that's where you can pull up those pictures, because this will include the pirate story, Ian. So again, this is their answer to a formal night on most cruises. Everybody's supposed to wear some kind of scarlet. It starts at 9 and the ship is transformed. It may have been the one above. Oh, I did take an 80s. I took an 80s workout class. That was funny. I think you passed.
No, I didn't pass it.
Yeah, you did.
All right.
I watched you.
That one?
Yes.
Oh, I thought, okay.
So, Scarlet Night starts at 9 o'clock. And like we noticed the second we walked out of our room, the hallways were lit up with red lights. The lounges, bars, the atrium, places like that were lit up completely in red. Actually, it made it really hard to take photographs because they all turned out red. But the story of the Scarlet Night is, I may not get this exactly right, but it's basically a story of how the moon and the stars came to be. So way back in the day, there was no moon, there were no stars. And so sailors could only sail during the day. So they couldn't get very far. They couldn't go out and explore new lands because at night it got too dark. They had to return home. And one day a brave sailor, Tylen, you can correct me if I'm getting some of this wrong, dove deep down into the ocean and found a treasure. And it was guarded by the goddess of the sea, who's an octopus. And they battled over this treasure and eventually fell in love. And from what I can gather, at that point, they threw the treasure away. And that's what became, like, they threw it up and it now lights up the sky as the moon and the stars.
There you go.
Okay, by the way, Jen, yes, Richard Simmons. The 80s workout class was called VHS, for videos, headbands, and Simmons. And it was so much fun. It wasn't like legit working out. I mean, I guess like you could have broken a sweat, but it was really just for fun. And it was hysterical.
Would I have enjoyed it?
No.
Just wondering.
There was some adult humor there as well.
Fair enough.
We had shake weights, like, man.
Shake weights, there it is. I didn't realize those were a thing in the 80s.
Anyway.
Man, I was a child of the 80s. I should know better.
So the octopus is a huge inflatable that they have at the pool deck. And like here you can see they had tentacles, like inflatable tentacles that just popped up. I mean, the whole ship transformed. It was really incredible. It was really neat. By the way, that last picture of me in front of the live or whatever it was, that is a whole room with the sole purpose is to take photographs. Like literally, Tylen can agree with me. It is just a room. It's just a room for Instagram. Like that's the only reason it exists. There's
for the gram.
But there you can see the pool and the octopus. And so at 9 o'clock, Scarlet Night started, and there were random things going on. The dancers were dancing kind of randomly throughout the ship. The acrobats were performing kind of randomly throughout the ship.
Ian, hang on a second. I have to address this.
Okay.
Ian, you're absolutely right. I actually thought of him just now when I saw this. So Warren is the guy that runs Octo Nation.
I've met him.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I do know who that is.
Tanya met him
one time.
Yeah, Tanya met Warren and Roberto about a year ago at Disney. Warren runs Octo Nation, which is the world's largest octopus fan club. They have a massive, massive Facebook following. So if you're on Facebook right now, go search.
Which you are.
Don't shut this feed off.
No.
Open up a new tab, go to Facebook and search Octo Nation. You can check him out. Warren's a friend of ours, and he's a really good guy that does a lot for a lot of people. So, but yeah, he totally should. This would be completely on brand for him.
So it was really neat. There was all kind of random stuff going on. At 10:45, the party started at the pool, and it started out with the Happenings cast kind of dancing. The dance group was there dancing, so they did this whole thing. Diva was there, who's the drag queen on board. They did this whole thing. We toasted the brave sailor. We toasted the goddess of the sea. I mean, it was kind of like just a fun start to the party. And then the party started. So they started playing music and everybody got in the pool and danced.
So this is before or after your phone went in the water?
This was when my phone went in the water. So
okay.
I was dancing in the pool. So
this picture. Sorry.
Oh, before.
Okay.
Because then people were dancing.
Fair enough.
Jody and I threw our shoes off and we jumped in the pool and we just danced around. And it was really a lot of fun. And then my phone got knocked out of my hand and it was fine because I found it and dried it off and it works great. See, here it is. Hi.
The end.
Fine. Perfect. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. And people were plunging into the center part of the pool, which is about 5 feet deep. Mm-hmm. And I had planned to, but when I got there, I was like, because the dress I bought was a little tighter around the knees so that it wouldn't fly up when I plunged. So I had planned this through. And then I got there and I was like, I don't have anything to change into. Like, I don't. Like it's this. I got to wear this all night. So I didn't. But we did dance in the pool a little bit. It was really fun. And then eventually we kind of went up and walked around the top deck. You can see there, and just kind of people watched and took some pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And then the party moved down to the manor, which is like their club, their kind of dance club, I guess, or whatever. And then it continued on there. But you can see people dancing all around the deck and in the pool. But so that started at 10:45. So the whole night was just really fun and magical and different. But from 9 to 10:45, there's just stuff going on all over the ship. And it's not like it's necessarily on an itinerary. It's not like join this at this time or join that at that time. You just kind of have to be in the right place at the right time. It kind of made me think about things that go on the Star Cruiser.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Jeffrey B was on here and he was telling us about how he kind of got caught up in a little mission on the Star Cruiser. Well, that was me dancing in the pool.
Yeah, no,
So
I mean,
it's kind of like that. So Jody and I, see, that's me dancing in the pool before.
but this is where the thing starts. So that's why I was going back
again, because everything's red and
phone got dropped in the pool.
But Jody and I were standing there at the top of the atrium looking down, and some dancers were performing down there. So we're just enjoying the dancers. And one of the happenings cast, Patrick, comes up behind us and he says, and yes, Tylen, the manor is the best photo hallway. That's all the photos where it looks like I'm standing just like floating in lights. That's the manor hallway. But he comes up and he says, what are y'all doing for the next like 10 to 15 minutes? And we were like, literally whatever you tell us to do, because something good is going to happen here. And so he said, okay, come on. He grabbed about 10 of us all together and pulled us off to the side in a quiet little corner. That's him at the front. It's a terrible photo. It's blurry, but that's him. You're kind of looking at him like this, right at the foreground. And he said, okay, do y'all know the story of the Scarlet Knight? And we're like, yes, we know the story of the Scarlet Knight. And he was like, oh, and by the way, they had story times like the night before, I think, where you could go, they'll tell stories under the stars about the constellations and about this. And it's like 30 minutes and you just kind of relax under the stars and someone tells neat stories. I will make sure to hit that up next time because that sounded really neat. I know Tylen did it. But he pulled us to the side. He said, you know the story? And we said, yes. And he said, it's all a lie. It's a lie. Everything they've been telling us. And I was like, you know, I love conspiracy theories. And I was like, oh, it's a conspiracy? And he was like, yes. Birds aren't real. Anyway, he was like, yes. It's one of the categories in Jeopardy last night.
Flies, it spies.
No, what one of the categories in Jeopardy last night was birds are real.
Oh boy.
my birds aren't real group has been blown up today.
All right. Let's not chase that.
We're not going to chase
rabbit.
That rabbit. So he's like, do you want to know the truth? And we're like, yes, we want to know the truth. And he's like, have any of y'all been in a cult before? And we were all like, no. All 10 of us were like, no. And he's like, are you opposed to being in a cult? And we're like, no, that's cool. Whatever. So he was like, okay, here's what we have to do. He's like, who in this group is good? He's like, I can take you to our private lair, like our secret lair. And I can like enlighten you. But first, who in the group is good at thievery? And Jody's like, she is.
Oh, jeez.
That's kind of how it happened.
Almost
she
died.
Like, whacks me. She's like, she's good at thievery. And I was like, okay, sure. I'm good at thievery. So
thievery like, for $500.
Like, basically, you have to go over to this closed bar and steal a bottle of rum. And I was like, okay, because I'm ready there. I'm like ready to go, right? And he's like, we're gonna create a distraction. You got to go steal this bottle of rum. So Evelyn's been telling everybody, my mom stole a bottle of rum
at church.
At church, everybody at church. Yep. My mom stole a bottle of rum.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, kid, for throwing me under the bus like that. But she was right from a certain point of view. So I go over to the bar. And the bartender's like, hey, we're closed. I was like, hey. And he was like, we're closed. And I was like, okay, I just need a little something. And he was like, nope, we're closed. And I was like, but I just need something. And I'm like looking around for and so, I mean, all of this was clearly staged. This was all part of the little show they were putting on. The bartender standing there at a closed bar, like wiping clean glasses, right? He's only there for me. So, but I was, so you got to play along. And I noticed at the end of the bar, there's one little lone bottle sitting there. And I'm like, that's my target. So I start like easing my way down the bar. And I'm like, I just need something. And he's like, we're closed. He's like, there's a bar over there. There's a bar over there. There's a bar down there. Like you can go to any of those places, but I cannot get you anything. And I was like, but are you sure? And I'm trying to like ease my way over. And he's like, I'm sure. And so about that time I noticed back in the corner, like most of the alcohol's been put up because it's closed. What's with that look on your face? I'm just not even going to look over there. And so back in the corner, I see a tray with like 7 or 8 bottles of alcohol. And so I was like, there's some right there. You can get me that. And he was like, nope, I'm sorry, we're closed. And I was like, nope, I'm looking at alcohol. And he was like, nope, we're closed. And I was like, look, right over there, there's all this alcohol. And so he turns around and I'm like, with a little bottle of rum, hold it under the counter. And he turns back around. He's like, I can't. No, we're closed. And I was like, well, fine. I guess it was worth a try. And he was like, bye. I was like, bye. So then I'm wearing 3-inch heels. BT dubs, I never wear heels if you know me in real life. So I'm like teetering back.
Everybody shuffling.
Yeah. So I'm like teetering back with my little bottle of rum. And I'm like, I got it. It says Pirate's Booty across the label.
Hang on a second.
So you can see it. You can just see it.
Hello.
Yes, at church.
It's completely in. Like it was legit happening. So yeah.
Yeah. But you can see me holding a bottle of something. That was a bottle of rum. So everyone's like, yay, you did it. And I'm like, yay. And he's like, okay, so now to get to our lair, can everyone go down 2 flights of steps? And everyone's like, yep, we got it. He's like, is anyone allergic to rum? And we're like, nope, love rum. Cool. And he's like, okay, can you be quiet? He's like, we're going to go through crew member only areas. And there are crew that are sleeping. Can you be quiet? And we're like, oh, and he's like, also, this is a no phone zone. Can you promise not to use your phones? And we're like, we're so here for this. Like the more he talks, the more excited we're getting. So he's like, okay. So he takes us out. I mean, all the stuff's happening inside. So he takes us out into this completely like abandoned deck out. So we're like walking, by the way, we're getting totally blown around. Like the wind was just whipping. And so we're like hairs everywhere in our faces. So we're walking down the side of the ship and we get to a door and he's like, okay, this is the crew only. You have to be quiet. And we're like, okay. He's like, phones up. So he opens the door and we all go inside. And it turns out Pip, another Happenings cast, was doing this on the other side of the boat. So he's like, we have to wait for the signal for Pip. And then we hear this like, caw. That was their signal. It was like, really? Because that's the sound you expect to hear in a closed off hallway.
What are they, like wilderness explorers?
Inside a ship. Yeah. So he's like, caw, back at her. And he's like, that's our cue. So we meet up with her and they're like, okay, you have to be quiet. So I'm like trying to struggle down the stairs in my heels with this bottle of rum as quietly as I can. And they're metal stairs. So like every time my heel hits, it's like clank, clank, but so is everybody else. So I didn't feel too bad. So we all get down. There's about 20 of us at this point. And then she leads us down this hallway, which is clearly the crew rooms. I mean, they're very obviously their rooms. So we creep down the hallway and then we get to a big metal door that looks like an elevator door. And she's like, okay, we have to do the secret pirate knock, which apparently was her knocking, shaving a haircut. And then we all went, yo ho, to not wake up the crew. So the charmer, the ship's magician, opens the door, looks around and is like, nope. And like shuts the door back. And we were like, we came all this way. I stole a bottle of rum. We're just here. And so she's like, okay, well, let's do it again. He doesn't realize what's going on. So we held our pirate hook. So she did it again, shaving a haircut. Yo, we're all standing there with our little pirate hooks. And he opens the door and goes, oh, it's you. Okay, yeah, come on in. So we all go in. And what it is in real life is it's a bar. It's a hangout spot for the crew. I mean, it's clearly where they just kind of chill, but it's at the very bow of the ship. Like we could see the point of the ship. We could hear the ship cutting through the water. Like we were where people are not typically allowed to be. It was really, really cool. And so the charmer did some magic tricks and then they told us the truth about the Scarlet Knight and they uncovered the lies. And the truth is that it wasn't a brave sailor who dove down to the bottom of the ocean and found the treasure and fell in love with the goddess of the sea. It was a brave pirate. And that's the truth. So now you know.
There it is.
We all held up our hooks. We took a pirate oath, and then we drank that rum that I had stolen. The charmer used it to make. I mean, by the time it was spread out, we couldn't even really taste any of the rum in there. But everyone had a nice little mixed drink that we got for free. There were a few times on the voyage that we had that we were, offered free drinks, which was kind of nice.
So you didn't. I don't think there were really any other. Yeah,
no, because I couldn't take any pictures down there. But that was just us kind of before the party. Save water, drink champagne.
There it is.
And that's the hallway to the manor where Ian, it was like a speakeasy. Oh wow.
Yeah, no, totally. So like I see more this is on the hallway to the manor, right?
Yeah. You see more photographs here.
Yeah, of this area than like any other, this is probably the most Instagrammable spot on the ship.
I mean, Tylen's right. Like she said something like, oh, there's so many photo spots. Like I said, there's an entire room. The sole purpose is to take photographs of yourself. But the manor hallway is kind of that's the one you're aiming for.
It's the best.
But anyway, it was just really fun. we had kind of made some friends, and they're texting us like, where are you? And we're like, we don't know. And they're like, what happened? And we're like, we were taken. And they're like, we're confused. And we're like, so are we. But it was really neat. And then, they shuffled us back out there.
Yeah.
And that was about time for the party to start at the pool. So we went upstairs to the pool deck to get ready for that. But it was just a really, like I said, the crew makes all the difference. Just all the unique things that are going on the ship, the unique shows. We saw Dual Reality, which is it's an acrobatic circus style show, kind of Romeo and Juliet-esque. It was incredible. And they do it in the Red Room, and the Red Room is not very big. They're like all up on you. I mean, we were in the balcony, but like the performers are very close to the audience. The night before in the Red Room, we saw Untitled Dance Show Party thing, which was absolutely wild. Thailand described it as a celebration of dance. I'm like, because I texted her and I was like, I just watched the whole thing for an hour and I still don't know what happened. But it was neat. There was singing, lots of dancing. The stage moves around the room. There's like a cat. There's all kind of like, I mean, there's just they're right up in your faces. You're just standing around the stage. Yep. There's no seating, and it ends with a dance party. And again, there's this whole theme of you can act like a big kid. We did the electric slide. We did the hokey pokey. We did head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Like it was just a big dance party at the end. It was really, really fun. So those two shows we saw, I was highly impressed by. I mean, I was highly impressed by everything on the ship. It was overall a very wonderful experience. Oh, and I forgot to mention Gun Bay. We did go to Gun Bay, which is a Korean barbecue. And that was very good too. And very fun. And that was the only time we were seated with people we did not know, because they're cooking in front of you. So there's like,
so keep going. Sorry. I'm looking for,
what are you looking for?
We don't really have any answer on the old question of the day, but our question of the day was, what are you going to be celebrating in 2023? And Jess said, my super strong relationships. Jen said, more races. Let's go.
Oh, she's getting it. She's getting it.
And then Tracy says, having the best travel agent. Tracy, you were so sweet. Yeah. Tracy, so fun story.
I'm a travel agent too.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Tracy, I met her because before doing travel full time, I mowed lots of grass.
Yeah.
And I used to mow her yard. Now she's one of my most favorite clients. Nice. So for travel. So I don't mow her grass anymore, but she lets me book some trips for her, which is fun. Nice. So that is a lot. We've been going like slightly over an hour.
It was just too much fun.
And too much coffee.
I highly recommend it.
Oh, wait, hang on. Warren, if you're still on, just hang on. I got to find this for you and show this to
Warren,
him.
You've been summoned.
Hang on. I'm going to pull up. Since you're on, I'm going to go back to these pictures because this, we can talk later. I got to go back and find them because we're on a different thing now. Wait, oh yeah, that is yours. Sorry.
Yeah.
I have to scroll back because this is several posts ago.
Warren, Virgin has their own sort of fairy tale as to how the moon and the stars came to be in the sky, and it involves the goddess of the sea, who is, as John is about to show you, apparently a large inflatable octopus.
Here we go.
But on Scarlet night, she kind of takes over the ship, and here she is at the pool, and you see her tentacles just kind of all throughout the ship, popping up in random places. Hey, I like the plug there, Warren.
Dude, we'll totally do it for sure. But yeah, there's a few different shots of it. So like she was saying, the theme is all over the ship itself, which is kind of neat.
Us, Jen.
So but those are really the two best pictures that she's got, but you can see they're like kind of coming through the deck.
They were all over in the atrium, different places. Yeah.
Anyway, could be a cool group experience for you guys. So, but we definitely thought about you when we were taking a look.
I bet a lot of people did send that to you.
I bet maybe a few along the way.
They thought of you.
Yeah, we did. But yeah, Ian definitely needs to get on there because he's a massive foodie. So y'all definitely enjoy it.
And
I think
to close out, I will share with you, there are some specials running right now through Virgin. There's some specials that as Travelmation agents we can offer you, and some specials that me personally, having just sailed, can offer you until December the 28th. So until December the 28th, you can book with a $300 deposit, anytime for the next 2 years. You don't have to go ahead and set your sale date. It gets you $300 off your voyage and $300 in Sailor Loot, which is their onboard credit. So that is exclusive to me because I just sailed it. I have a limited number of these. It only lasts until December the 28th. I've already got some interest. So if you want to get that ball rolling, contact me like yesterday. Because of Travelmation's relationship with Virgin, as Travelmation agents, we can throw in a free $100 Sailor Loot. If you book before the end of the year. So that would be $400 in Sailor Loot. They had some really cute kids shirt. They were like Kids Against Virgin Voyages. It was really funny. Anyway, they have some good swag and stuff in there. And the current special that Virgin is running, which can be combined, is through the end of January. So you could go ahead and put your $300 deposit down now with me and get your $300 off, get your $300 Sailor Loot, and then decide in January if you want to like set a date. But if you book before the end of January, 60% off the second Sailor, which is incredible. And $300 bar tab for voyages less than 6 nights, 6 nights or less, $600 bar tab for voyages over 6 nights. And I'll tell you what that means, because we talked about it's not just the alcohol. So someone did the math. So if you book a 7-night voyage or longer, which is a lot around the Mediterranean, Australia, places like that. And there are only 2 lady ships right now, but they're adding a 3rd lady ship next year and a 4th in 2024. So there'll be a lot more itineraries being added. But a $600 bar tab will get you 120 beers or 65 glasses of wine or 60 cocktails or 150 of their specialty coffees.
It's a lot of coffee.
Right. Or up to 60 mocktails.
All right.
And is always included your still sparkling water, tea, coffee, soft drinks. All that is still included. So we're talking 60% off the second Sailor, at least a $300 bar tab, up to $400 in onboard credit, $300 off your voyage, all for a $300 deposit by December the 28th. And so if any of this interests you, please reach out to me. Just by reaching out to us, you're not like obligated to book a trip, but you can at least ask some questions and see, you know, if you think this would be the kind of voyage that you would like. And they make great Christmas gifts.
And too. If you want to find out more about Octonation, there's a link on the screen right there, facebook.com/group/Octonation. They do a lot of charity work, kind of educating the world, schools, you know, different organizations, working alongside nonprofits and others that just letting them know about the diversity of octopus and kind of how they contribute to the world and how they're awesome. So definitely check them out. So but anyway,
that's all.
The other thing I want to show you.
It's just been an hour and a half.
That's all, folks. The other thing I want to share with you is if you want to find out more about Travel Tips Tuesday, you want to watch it live. If you're listening out there on podcast land, this is the place to find all the ways to listen to it and just be able to share it with other people. So thank you all for joining us on Travel Tips Tuesday, for hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit, like Tanya likes to say. And we'll see y'all in 2023. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, etc., etc. The end.
Okay, bye.